Well, hello, hi, hello, and welcome to my channel. For any of you who have been curious what the official, quote unquote, official pronunciation of my channel name is, are you ready? It doesn't matter. There is no official pronunciation. It just, I don't know why we're opening like that, but it's fine. So today, see, I'm the type of person where it's like I don't care what other people think about me, but sometimes I am genuinely curious what other people's perception of me is, if that makes sense. And so I'm using the prime use double majors. I just want to see, not necessarily what the perception of me is, but if you have to describe Patrick, and let's do 1 to 3 cards. We'll do 1 to 4, and we'll leave it up to Google. Hey Google, roll a d4.
You got 4.
4. I had a feeling it was going to be 4. I was like, oh, I said 1 to 3. Watch it be 4. So if the prime use double majors had to describe Patrick in 4 cards, really, truly, Eve. Oh my gosh, I have not informed you today. I am so sorry. I'm texting you right now. How are you? For those of you who thought that I would be opening the Magic the Gathering cards, the last booster pack, you're wrong. You are the April Fool. Oh snap! It's a Twitty. Almost like my brain was like gonna say Twitty, and then your name, and then it tried to combine them, and I was like, anyway, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see both of you. How are you doing today? You've been on my mind, and I've been not great at reaching out to people lately, so I'm so sorry. I've just been like, I don't know if I've been in my Piscean deep dive, y'all know how like Virgos have the hermit thing? Like Pisces are similar. So you're on a break. Oh, I was texting you. Okay. I already forgot. Hey Eve! Exclamation point, exclamation point. How are you? Question mark, exclamation point. So, dot, 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 dot. Excuse me. I guess it's interesting if you look at it that way. Oh no. See, I appreciate the attempt at autocorrecting, but that is not what I was going for. There we go. Okay. Whew. You're on a break too? Oh, at home. I am also on a break. On a what? See, I tried to say break and work at the same time, and it didn't. I can send you the message too. So to be fair though, I'm gonna copy and paste, but I'll just replace Eve's name with your name. Did it not copy? It didn't copy. I thought if I do that, there we go. Copy to clipboard. Oh, there we go. All right, there you go. All right, see you later. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And until next time. So Patrick and 4 cards. This is interesting because this deck, I should get the Diablo Tarot out too and put some reversals in it. You know what? I'm going to do it. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm not wearing my glasses, but I think I can find the deck. Was this a good idea? I mean, every now and then, I'm just curious. I just get so curious. Oh, gosh. Oh, that's the wrong deck. Can we actually get the one that I'm looking for, please? Thank you. What's the tea on me? Woo. All right, snowman, calm down. Okay. I don't remember which scene it was. No, wrong one. Yay, there I am. See, I do have the fade transitions. Let's go 4. Let's roll another D4. But we'll roll that D4 when we get there. Okay. Oh, excuse me. But I will shuffle them. Yeah, I guess the interesting energy continues. Give it up for eclipse season. Excuse me. Well, these cards are huge. All right. You see this? Oh, is this in reverse? Wait. The whole deck is in reverse. Besides I'm so confused. It doesn't matter because I'm putting reversals in it. Did I already have reversals in it? I think so. All right. Yeah, all I gotta say is Jupiter is. Oh wait, I don't have it in here. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab my iPad so I can pull up Time Nomad. Jupiter is definitely conjuncting Uranus. Oh wait. Is my iPad? Oh, I think it is in here. I don't even think I had to get up. So as most of you should know, because I talk about it like all the time, I am a Taurus moon and rising. I'm a 12th house moon Taurus rising. So no, I'm a first house moon. Why did I say 12th house moon? I'm a first house moon Taurus rising, which means that my moon is in my first house. It's possible to have like a sun and rising or a moon and rising in the same sign, but it's like which side of the ascendant does it fall on? I'm a first house mooner. So, excuse me, I don't know why I'm so short of breath today. I do nothing and then I'm like, maybe it's because of all the nothing that I've been doing, and I've been to the gym, But yeah, so Uranus Taurus moved from Uranus Taurus, Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus. We're in my 12th house for a while, but they'll be conjuncting in my first house. But this Jupiter Uranus conjunction in Taurus at the time of the full, I guess the new moon, soon to be eclipse in Aries, is interesting. North Node is at 15 degrees. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, not today, but current date and time. Oh, that's interesting. No, it'll still be at 15. The North Node is going to be conjuncting the Sun. The North Node is going Kazemi right now. The Sun is directly more, I guess that's like a clean degree away. Mercury is retrograde Aries. It almost got into Taurus. It's like 27 degrees. They're 3 degrees away from each other. Jupiter is at 17 degrees 58 minutes of Taurus. Uranus is at 20 degrees 55 minutes of Taurus. So that Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, she's getting more and more exact by the day. Whew. And I could tell, but that's such an, okay. All right. Anyway, this is what I'm going to be doing today. I may come back and do, probably not. I'll do that last Magic the Gathering pack at some point. Ooh, there's the Queen of Swords upright with the Five of Swords in reverse. That's shuffled enough. So, Patrick and 4 cards. Let's go. Ooh. Okay. We're going to start over. Because that's way more than 4 cards. All right. I'm going to close my eyes. Okay. Ooh. Patrick and 4 cards. This is 2. Ooh. 2 cards. Is that 1? Yeah, I count it as 1. This is the Prime Muse double majors, so it's all like majors and court cards. Why didn't you just use a standard deck? I don't know. Because I'm complicated. You know what I mean? All right, Patrick in 3 more cards. I guess let's go one at a time. Girl. 2 more cards. Are we reading these in pairs? This is... What's funny, so I got 2 pairs of cards, which is technically 4 cards. But in both of these, the first card of the first pair is the Magician, and the first card of the second pair is the Hierophant. And both of them just look like so bored and like so over it and so disinterested. And I'm like, wow. Okay. I'm going to treat that as 1 card too. Ooh. I think this is the King of Pentacles. We got the first. Oh, it's 2 cards again. I thought it was 1 card that came out, but it's 2 more. Oh, it's not even the King of Pentacles. Okay. All right. No one's looking as bored and over it. This one's looking a little bit more, got a kind of serious expression on his face. But not bored and disinterested. I really thought that was the King of Pentacles for some reason. All right, last card. I guess this is Patrick in 4 pairs. And those 2 came out face down. There we go. 1 card. Cool. So we got 3 pairs and a single card. What's the bottom of the deck? Oh, I'll show them. The Devil. Wow. Interesting. Why does he look so upset? I guess that's interesting. What's interesting about this devil card is that, like, the lovers are right where he would want them, but he looks upset. And then instead of doing the Hierophant sign thingy, he's doing like the live long and prosper. It looks like he's more like live long and prosper. And I'm like, I am not a Trekkie. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe my problem is that I'm not into Star Trek. There are, as an aside, there are a few shows that I should be like really, really into that I'm not. Like Game of Thrones, I should be really, really, really into because I love high fantasy. But I guess I didn't have HBO, so I never got into it. Star Wars, Star Trek. I like sci-fi. It's not that I should necessarily be like super into them, but I am someone who likes sci-fi, so I should have at least be like marginally interested. But it's almost things that like since I missed out on them when they were hot, I just don't, you know, I don't know. So the first pair of cards to describe Patrick, 16. The Magician and the Lovers. Maybe he's like thinking. This is interesting. Like I see something between this two pair, like the first pair and the third pair. Interesting. I don't know why I do this sometimes. Because then I'm like, oh yeah, I get it, but like it's for me. So like it's personal. So the first one is the Magician and the Lovers. Now, for me, especially at this point in my life, this could be an energy because, again, the Lovers can mean choices and decisions. It can be like the Lovers, but it can also mean choices and decisions. And this is a more like making choices and decisions, real life actions that align with what I want, more so than just like passively manifesting. The passively manifesting, passively dreaming, passively hoping and wishing, but not doing anything about it to make it my reality phase of my life is over. It's all about the choices, the decisions, the doing. Now, the second pair of cards is the Hierophant and the World card. And again, maybe the Hierophant is like thinking. And then the world's looking at him like, however she's looking at him. What's interesting, what catches my eye is like her purple sash and the purple floor here with the checkerboard pattern. It's also interesting. I just saw these flowers the other day. I was at the Menards Garden Center and I saw, was that in Menards? I'm pretty sure that was in Menards. I saw these flowers, these like trumpet flower looking things. It's interesting that the two, like we have two wreaths there, two garlands at the Hierophant's feet, where there's usually two people. The laurel wreath gives an energy of completion, just like how you see in the world, right? So it feels like whoever was before the Hierophant have gone through their own completion, and that's why they're not there and without anyone to talk to. Hierophant's just kind of like bored. What does that mean for Patrick? I don't know. Maybe it's like Just like how I am of a mind that's like, I feel like it's like, you know what I mean? I feel like for me personally, because I'm in a position or because I'm of a mind in my life where it's like doing the things to make things reality more so than just like talking about it and not putting forth the action into, getting whatever that I want in my life or like moving in the direction that I want to move in, coming more and more and more into myself. Welcome back. Um, like, because that's where I am within my own life when it comes to the Hierophant, I'm almost the same way, especially when it comes to the Hierophant for me. Like, it's like I gotta be able to see it out in the world. You know what I mean? The next pair of cards is the Knight of Pentacles with the Sun. The Knight of Pentacles with the Sun is interesting because that could be like the Knight of Pentacles could be mutable Earth, which is Virgo. So this would be like a Virgo sun, but my sun is in Pisces. My moon is, I don't have anything in Virgo. My Earth is in Virgo. And that's, hey, Hallie, how you doing? And that's the only thing that's in Virgo for me. But my Chiron is in the same house as my Virgo void. I'm pretty sure. I think so. Actually, it might not be. I think Jupiter is in that house. Yeah, that's Jupiter that's in that house. Oh, wait. Right? No. So my sixth house cusp is Virgo. So technically, the opposite of my sun would be in my fifth house, which is in the same house as my Chiron in Leo. And then my Jupiter in Libra is in like my sixth house. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm like, okay, why did I really decide to do this? And I'm like, I don't know. The Knight of Pentacles and the Sun. Now, what I was looking at is this Knight of Pentacles, like, it's probably the blonde curls or it's the blonde hair. Because he is a little more tan in the Lover's card. But she's giving me like similar energy. And so I saw the Magician with the Lovers over here, and then I see the Knight of Pentacles heading towards the Sun over here, and I'm like, well, that guy looks like the other guy in the Lovers. So like, if I were reading this for me, and I guess I am, there's almost this energy here of things already sort of coming into an alignment, slowly and steadily, like on their way. This person going to approach this person. And in the Sun, he looks more like he's got such a serious expression on his face, though. And he's definitely not. It's definitely not the expression of one of these two. If it'll focus. Also, it's not the first card; it's the second. But this would almost be like the reason why the Hierophant is like the reason why both the Hierophant and the Magician are not in an active sort of pose would be because there's something that already exists in the world. So it's not it's almost more of a matter of like finding something or realizing something more so than it is about bringing something into being. The last card is the Knight of Swords, and he's looking kind of defensive AF, low key. What's interesting about this Knight of Swords is usually I see a Knight of Swords with the bent trees. And it's like it's because of the movement and momentum of the Knight of Swords. Like the Knight of Swords is moving at a speed that is so fast that the environment is reacting to them. But this is a Knight of Swords that isn't moving, but yet the trees in the back are still bent. And look at his expression. I don't even know what that one is. It's kind of blank. Hey Steph, how you doing? It's been a minute. Interesting. Maybe this double energy at the bottom of the deck is like, hey, did you forget about me? I'm like, no. No. Did not forget about you at all. Like, if you haven't heard from me, devil energy, it's for a reason. Um, and it's not because, like, oh my gosh, I'm just like, because I'll do a thing where it's like somebody will be on my mind and then they'll be on my mind heavy. And I'll just be like, oh, I should reach out to this person. Oh, I should reach out to this person. I should reach out. I should reach out. And what happens more often than not is I'm so bad at just like reaching out that they'll like reach out to me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you've been on my mind. And sometimes it's like, yeah, if I'm not reaching out, it's on purpose. I think that's one thing though. I feel like that's one thing about me that I feel like if I wasn't me, I may be confused by. Because I think sometimes I can exhibit a similar behavior, but like for a completely different reason. And it's like, oh my gosh, like I haven't heard from Patrick in a minute. And I'm like, it's like you've been on my mind. I've been thinking about you. Oh my gosh, I hope you're well. Like I've been meaning to reach out for like a decade. And just like I never did. Now, also partially like Patrick is no stranger to being tired. I'm tired like all the time. And so a lot of times, and I feel like I'm like, I kind of veg out a lot. Where it's just like, yeah, like I was playing video games or I was watching Netflix. I'm just kind of like zoned out, catching up on my gaming library, catching up on my entertainment library. And like, I feel like sometimes like I only get the thought, or it seems like the thoughts come the most when I'm like actually busy. Like I'll be at work or there'll be another reason why I can't reach out at that specific time when I have the thought like, oh, I should reach out to this person. So when I do get the free time, I forget. And sometimes like there'll be some times where it'll be like the weekend or I'll get some free time and I'll be like, I feel like I'm supposed to be like doing something. Like I feel like there was something that I was gonna do when I got free time, but I don't remember what it is. So I guess I'll just play video games. Um, I don't know. I kind of want to get clarifiers. Do I clarify before or after? Yeah, I am too. I'm like there are things that I got for people when I was in India that I still haven't sent out. And it's like there were like pictures that I took in when I was in London in December. that I was gonna like post that I never posted, let alone the pictures from India. I still haven't made my Facebook, hey, thanks for all the birthday wishes post. And my birthday was over a month ago. I just been like, as like lately, I just feel like I've been extra bad with like checking in and reaching out. I've just been like not just existing, but I guess too, I feel like my mind is sort of like not really preoccupied. I don't know. I'm just I'm better at reaching out sometimes and I'm worse at other times. I don't even know what deck I wish I had a traditional Rider-Waite Smith deck. I could go for the before or after tarot. Let's go for the after tarot. Because this is more like a me now type of energy. I'll be right back. Oh, wait, I meant to do this. Sorry. I'm like in and out of the closet today. Let's see. And I just like rearranged this the other day. So, are you the after? Oh, I can kind of see. I see tarot. Are you the before or the after? I'm not even. There we go. What is happening? I'm like, I'm not even grabbing the deck that I want to grab. That's the before tarot. So this should be the after. Well, it was, yeah, this is the after. Oh, cool. All right. This was the correct choice. And it was the correct choice because, but I'm glad to hear that you're feeling better, Steph. Because look at the box. Like the Two of Cups is totally giving me like lovers vibes. You see that? Oh, that's another thing between them too. Both of these cards have the sun on it. But in the sun card, like the clouds have dispersed and the sun comes like fully down. So maybe the manifestation, it's like whatever I've been wanting in my own life. It's almost like the manifestations have been manifested already. And now it's about meeting the manifestation in real life. All right. IRL. IRL. I. Ooh, ooh. All right. So obviously I'm going to pull before and after. I'm going to pull before and after this Knight of Swords because the Knight of Swords came out solo. Another thing it's interesting. Can y'all hear that? Because sometimes the magician will have one of these in their hand. I don't know if they hold two or if they only hold one, and it points towards the sky. Actually, we will attempt to find out. We're going to look for the other magician and the other world card to see Yes. The magician is holding one. And then I think, oh, this is the first world card. So she's holding both of them. But the magician isn't holding it. I'm also in this I'm in this weird point in life where, because like the world is holding that thing that connects the magician to the as above so below and not the magician, I'm in this weird period where the world is synchronizing with the world. The external is synchronizing with the external for me right now, or at least for the past few weeks, where it's like I'll see something and then I'll see something else related to the thing, but it'll never necessarily be like an internal, not really, like kind of sort of one time. But I feel like there's even more like I won't get any kind of intuitive anything, but I'll see something and I'll go, oh, that's interesting. I'll notice it. And then something else will happen, or I'll see something else. And it'll be like all of these external synchronicities. And usually it'll be like an internal thing first, and then it's like validated and confirmed externally, and then so on and so forth. But it's like, I have noticed that. And I'm like, that's interesting. But also, I'm kind of sort of at this interesting point in my life where I'm just kind of sort of like living it, if that's what you call what I've been doing. I'm telling you, video games, Netflix, anime. That's what I've been doing. Video games, Netflix, anime. Video games, Netflix, anime. Oh my gosh, I should reach out to this person. Video game, Netflix, anime. Go to the gym. Video game, Netflix, anime. Oh, look at the bottom of the deck. The Knight of Swords. Anyway. And the moon. Interesting. Oh, these flowers are in the Magician. So that's another link between these two. The flowers down here. So you remember the flowers here and the flowers in these like laurel. I guess they're not laurel, but in these like wreaths. Like you could see those same trumpet flowers here in the Magician. So it's like from the Magician, they've been plucked and turned into these crowns here. And in the Lovers, we see like these grains, and we see the sheep, we see the sun coming through the clouds. Oh, I didn't even catch that. So this is the entirety of the Fool's journey and this first two pairs. The first card of the first pair is the Magician, which is step 1. The last card of the second pair is the World, which is step 21. One second. I'm just curious. Oh, wait. Okay, anyway. Yeah. So like from the fool or from the magician to the world, and between the magician and the world, it's the lovers and not the Hierophant. Then after this completion of the fool's journey, we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Sun. Now, on the Sun, we typically see the person as a baby, but this person is like full grown. And I wonder if this is almost a Queen of Wands type energy, and that's why he's like holding up the sunflower or looking at the sunflower. Like inspecting the sunflower, like how close to the sun is this sunflower? How close to a sunflower nurtured by sunlight is this sunflower nurtured by internal light or whatever? Because it's giving me almost a Queen of Wands type energy. Like the Queen of Wands is the sun for her field of sunflowers. And so with the Knight of Pentacles, it's like, excuse me, not only is it this sun from the Lover's card coming down, but it's also again some kind of maturation. Almost giving, oh yeah, because then here's the Knight of Swords. So almost giving like luminous warrior type energy. But I guess in some ways I would see it. In other ways, I wouldn't necessarily. I feel like this card makes a lot of sense then. Um, I could see luminous warrior type energy when I guess sort of like in a way of maybe that conviction or whatever. But I'm also not necessarily at a point or at a place in my life where it's not that I don't care, because that is obviously not true. But at the same time, I'm not necessarily at a point in my life where I'm like going out of my way to find battlefields to fight on and hills to uh, fight on. Because I'm not necessarily dying on any hills, but like again with the lovers, like I'm at a point in my life where it's about like me furthering my life while at the same time holding as much space as I can for those in it. And so, like, when it comes to local devil energy or devil energy that I know about, it's like, yeah, no. Mm-mm. But I'm not necessarily going out like looking for devils either, because I'm also not playing in that game. And maybe that's why devil energy is a little bit like what you're like, hey, I'm over here. You're like, you're not gonna play, you're not gonna buy in, you're not. I'm like, yeah, no. Like, there are enough people to play in that game, and I don't necessarily have to be one of them. Cool. I can kind of sort of see it in that way. Because I feel like where I am with the collective in general, with humanity in general, with other people in general. One second. Woo! Let's go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Woo. I'm sorry. 1 second. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, girl. Well, I say let's go, but then. Whew. Okay. Cool. All right. I keep looking at the bottom of the deck. All right. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, I see that. And I feel like too, like for me, the journey is more like lovers and instead of hierophant. For me, like there have been hierophants in my life that have certainly like helped me at certain points that have given me like certain types of information at certain points. But I feel like there have also been hierophants in my life where who was I think I was mentioning it here, but I think I was telling Reem too. Like there have been times where I've gotten a message from a hierophant or something like that. And there's a part of it that resonates for me, but it may not completely resonate for me. All right, see you later, Steph. I hope that you continue on the up and up and up and up and up swing. Glad to hear that things are lighter. Um, but like there have been some things that some people, and it's like I'll hear something from multiple people, and they'll say like, oh, like have you considered this? Do you do this because you have a? Oh my gosh, Reem! Hi, hey Reemy, how are you doing? Okay, gotcha. I need to text her later. All right. Sorry. I'm doing well. I feel like this. I feel like there have been a few times in my life where I'll be in a storm, but my tower will be like solid, and I feel like I'm kind of there. Um, where because my tower is solid or be it's almost like I'm at a point where whatever the storm is doing aligns with what I was gonna sort of like do anyway. So when the storm comes through, it doesn't derail or detract or like it doesn't hit me as much as it hits other people that are also affected by the storm. And so it's this weird point where I'm like, I'm fine. If anything, my timeline may have just like accelerated because of the storm. But I'm also in a space of like recognizing what it means for like people who are more affected and more impacted. So it's kind of weird. Did it really? As soon as the paychecks catch up to the bills, girl, it's a few. I don't know why I feel so weird about like connecting YouTube to my banking information. And like, that's why I don't do super chats or why I haven't joined any channel memberships yet. Again, I don't know why I feel that type of way, but I'm just like, ugh. I don't know about giving it to Google. I mean, like, no, like, let's be real. Google has that information. It's not like I'm keeping anything away from Google. But when the paychecks catch up to the bills, no, you'll be seeing the little star next to my name. But wow. Wow, wow, wow. Look at that. Look at that. Yeah. I started this year behind, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like I wouldn't I wouldn't not go to the wedding that I went to. I wouldn't not like I wouldn't have done anything differently. So, you know, it was just that, oh, now the title card is down here. I mean, I'm not obligated. I'm just like, I love the Rare Gazelle. I love Miss Rainy Healings. Like, I'm always like, oh my gosh. I'm one of the people that gets excited. But yeah. Wow. Okay. I get this. Oh, I love you too. I feel like I've also, so this is a point where I feel like lately, I've noticed about myself, I'm not the type of person that necessarily says, like, I love you a lot or like frequently. And like, I'm also not the type of person to really like say, like, babe or whatever. Like, I have some friends that'll be like, oh, like, hey, babe, I missed you, love you. And I'm like, love you too, bye. But I don't ever like, unless it's like Habibti, though, like that's different. But yeah, because I feel like even on here sometimes, like one of you may be like, "Oh, like I love you," and I'm like, "All right, bye." And I don't know, it's just, and I talked to my mom about it. I was like, "This is something that I've noticed about myself." And then she showed me something where she was like, "Yeah," um, where someone had said that, and the person was like, "I had a hard time saying it back. Don't judge me, but like, thank you." You know, which is weird because I am such a like, again, like even with family or even with my closest friends and on the phone, I feel like it's different. Like if I'm like love you later or like love you bye on the phone, I don't just like say it. And it's not that I have a problem saying it, but I just don't like say it all the time. Like, if that makes sense. And I'm just like, wow. I feel like I'm at a point in my life which is interesting. I'm at a point in my life where I'm noticing things about me. So there are a few things that are happening in life right now. And it's all like so it's almost like all so much that I'm not even thinking that. I feel like that's kind of sort of where I am. Like there is so much happening in life. There are so many things moving and I can feel it just like energetically that I'm kind of like shut down right now. Where it's like I don't necessarily like I'm not going out like looking for things. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna hold my space. I'm gonna hold my peace, and I'm going to allow them to come to me as they come to me. Because if I was to try to go out and do that, it would be too much. And so one of the things I've been noticing is that like I've been noticing things about me, and I've been coming across things about like relationships like some things on the side of like people who like the pros of relationships, but then also like the cons of relationships. And not even just like relationships particularly, just like connection in general, you know? And so I'm like, I feel like after a certain amount of time, I'm like, okay, this is interesting. I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know where we're going, but I notice that I'm looking at me and I notice that I'm hearing this about whatever. And then there's like other stuff when it comes to work. And I feel like when I was in a situation similar last time, it'll just be like, so that like those are the things that have been coming up within me. Unless like I was scrolling and I saw Kaiju number 8, and I was like, Kaiju, isn't that like Godzilla? And then I go to the gym the next day and Godzilla is playing on the TV. Like that's like the level of external synchronicity I'm getting. Where I'm like, oh, that's weird because I just saw Kaiju number 8 on the anime list yesterday, and here's a Kaiju movie. Um, but like even before, internally within me, I was like thinking about what I wanted career wise, more like long term, more like not in the moment. And then something came up. And for me, I feel like that's also part of the the sturdiness of the foundation I'll have throughout a storm sometimes. Because before the storm comes in, there's something within me, like the divine is already talking to me, and I'm already engaging in conversations like within me, like noticing stuff about myself, asking questions within me, like what do I want, where would I want to go, would I consider this, would I consider that, like, and then like the storm will come. And so because the storm comes after I've already been in the mode of sort of like processing and preparing for it, it like I'm a little more sturdy and I'm a little more stable in it, almost because I had a forewarning, but I don't necessarily have it in the way, me personally, I don't necessarily have it in the way that's like, hey, this is gonna come, so make sure whatever. Some people will get it that way. Like one of my Pisces friends had a dream, and then like close to the dream is what happened in real life. For me, a lot of times it's more like abstract. And I'm like, oh, like, I don't know, I guess, this would be nice or that would be nice. Like, I'll be like, it's kind of cold and I wouldn't mind like going somewhere warm for a little bit. And then somebody will be like, hey, do you want to like go with me to Florida? Like, I'm like, what? I feel like that's a little more exact, but anyway. Yeah, well, yeah. So, but then I am like, I am just like external. It's really interesting that I'll see something one day and then I'll see something the next day. Um, yeah. So I guess like that's where I'm at. Um, but again, because I can recognize and realize that like it's just kind of weird. I guess for me, like it's a weird space to be in, going through even a collective experience sometimes, but having a different, I guess, like level of impact. And it's not to say that I'm not impacted at all because I am, but like the ways that I'm impacted are already aligning, like it aligns with what I was already, it's like it aligns with what I already know that I want. Sometimes it's because I have those conversations beforehand. Sometimes it's just because that's how it works out. So anyway, long story short, that's how I am. And yeah, it's besides that, I've just been like that's I think sometimes too, it'll be like a whole bunch of synchronicity. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's just me or if it's some placement that I got where I'm like, you know what? I see the synchronicities, they're real loud. I'm not even gonna waste my time trying to figure out what this is. Even if it doesn't require much effort, I'm just gonna wait until it plays out or until it comes up. And so anyway. But yeah. Yeah. I guess that's what's been going on over here. Kind of. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next because I feel like thinking about it, I'm getting a little nervous. And I'm getting nervous because I'm like, so that thing that was supposed to be an eventually, that thing that was supposed to be a someday, like is Sunday gonna be tomorrow? Is Sunday gonna be next week? Is Sunday gonna like is it gonna come so much quicker than I thought? And I'm so bad at like planning sometimes. I'm such a like I'm such a I say I'm a go with the flow type person. It's because I don't have any Virgo in my chart. Like Kirsty will tell you with the times that I've seen Kirsty, I'm like, hey Kirsty, I'll be in London in like 2 days. And she's like, I already have like 65 plans. We can do this, we can do this, we can do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. Because I am so bad at planning that even though I am in the country, I might miss you because I never get to that point. So I'm just like, yeah. And I'm grateful for Kirsty because if it were up to me, like I'm going to see one of my friends this weekend for the eclipse, and I have to text her back now. And I think I texted her. I texted her earlier today because I'm just like, I'm just so bad at planning, and I think it's because of what I talked about earlier. Maybe it's like when my brain is in work mode, that's when I'm like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. Oh, I should do this. Oh, I should do that. As soon as I clock out, when I start like when I'm like, okay, like I'm about to play the game or I'm about to watch Netflix or I'm about to watch an anime, all of the stuff that I need to do, my brain, or all of the stuff that I was like, oh, it'd be a really good idea for me to do this, it's out of my brain. And I'm like, and then before I know it, I'm gonna be somewhere in like a week. Like it's fine. But professionally, of course, it's different. I'm a Capricorn midheaven, okay? So I can pull it together when it's for a paycheck. All right? Don't get it twisted. I am employable. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So is it really? Whew. But yeah, that's what, you know. And I'm like, oof. I'm again like, I don't know. I feel like the more I think about it, the more I kind of like I get this nervousness a little bit. And it's more so like an excitement. It's more so like an anticipation because again, like, and I've talked about it before, but there are some like if I feel something, I literally thought about this the other day. This is me, King of Swords, saying, and the way that the King of Swords used to come out as like an active intuition, where the Queen of Cups was the passive intuition, and then the High Priestess was the active and the passive intuition embodied. Um, where it's like I'll get like just this feeling, or like again, it'll be the space of a conversation. I feel like a lot of things happen in terms of like a conversation internally for me. And there was something that kind of came up and it scared me. It scared me because it was good. It scared me because it was exactly what I wanted. And I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to say yes when the thing came. So in my mind, I'm like, if this is already like causing me some kind of at least like nervousness before the manifestation is even at my doorstep, I do not, when it comes to me, IRL in real life, I don't want it to be any kind of hesitation, no doubt, yes, 100% there. Like I'm there, say less. And because that's where I want it to be, or just like in general, like if I get something like that, I'm like, well, how can I prepare myself in order to say yes when the time comes? And so, like, that's why last year, one of my goals was to like move out and to do some other things that I needed to do for me to feel more confident in my ability to say yes when the question comes. So again, in that vein, like I wouldn't be too surprised because that's literally the reason why I am where I am in preparation for the thing that I was in anticipation of. But for me, like I have to be like that. I don't necessarily have to be like that. I'll say that it benefits me to be like that because if there was anything that the year of allow taught me was that there were a lot of things that I could allow and there were some things that I could get through. Like I was a lot better at allowing the challenging, difficult things because my journey has been, for me, the focus, especially at the beginning, was overcoming challenge and overcoming difficulty. So for that, it was like less of a big deal. But when it came to allowing the good things, when it came to allowing the things that I really, really wanted, or the things that would have made me like really happy, which honestly for me was kind of the bigger trigger, I struggled a little bit. And I was like, I can't, not only can I not be like that, but I don't want to be like that. Because if I'm like that, how am I going to receive any of my manifestations? How is anything going to like materialize and actualize in my life? Hello? So I was like, all right, it'll be the year of what was it, expedition. It'll be the year of expedition. And then this year, I'm already like, there are some times when I have a word for the year, there will be things that happen and it will start ringing in my ear. Like when it was the year of allow, it was like, oh, this is your year of allow, right? So you allowing this year, right? Because that's what you said at the beginning of the year. That's what you said before you came into the new year. You're in a year of allow, right? You're going to allow, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Let me mentally prepare myself for this while I allow. And literally just today, my 2024 word is kind of like ringing in my ears. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what this means, but I have done everything that I said I needed to do within me to prepare for this. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I'm ready. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's going to work out. And if it requires me to step out there a little bit, I'll step out there. Sure. Because, you know. So, yeah, anyway, I feel like that was a very long winded, but it's all about me today anyway. So, living my healed Chiron and Leo fantasy, letting that Chiron and Leo breathe. There was a question. I'm kind of interested. There was a question that I asked that was kind of posed to me. I feel like sometimes I'm also led to certain things and then I naturally just pose a question. So it kind of came out, and then I had the question of like, what is a healed Chiron? Like, what is that? Or a functionally healed Chiron? Because it's not to say that we'll never struggle at all. But a functionally healed Chiron is a chironic wound that doesn't hinder your life as much as it did or would otherwise. And I was like, is it like a second sun? Is it like a Mars? Does it depend on the Chiron? Oh. Is it like the ruling planet? So if you have a Chiron in like Pisces, and then once you functionally heal it, does it begin to appear as like a Jupiter or a Neptune because that's what is ruled by Pisces? You know what I mean? Because I feel like it would make sense if that were the case. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, but and it's like right before, like in this eclipse tunnel, I'm like, girl, I'm like, are we really doing this? And why the timing though? The timing of it, I'm so over it. There are some times I'll be over it too. I'm like, I see the synchronicity, I know what's happening, and I'm like over it. I see what's happening. I see what's going on. I see where this is going. Ah ha ha. LOL. The divine is so funny. The divine got jokes. But like really now. And like it wouldn't be as like funny if it weren't like delayed. You know what I mean? Because this literally could have happened before the eclipse window even opened. It literally could have happened before we were even really into eclipse season. We could have already been here, done this, had this conversation. But no, like let's draw it out. Let's procrastinate the conversation, and then I'm like, okay, so it happens now. Okay, all right. But at the same time, in the same breath, I don't necessarily mind like getting an ecliptic jump start. If you know what I mean? Like an ecliptic ending or whatever, I'm like, okay, girl, like I'm over it. But that ecliptic jump start at the same time, I'm like, okay, all right, fine. Okay, all right. All things work together for my benefit and for my highest good. I know that the universe is constantly and continuously conspiring in my favor. And while sometimes it may seem a little harsh or unfair or a little like, what, really, that's what we're doing? Sometimes too, it do kind of sort of end up working out. And I'm like, if it kind of sort of end up working out, then you know, I'm still like in between. But yeah. Wouldn't it? Oh yeah. So that's yeah. Would it be a superpower? Probably. But that was a. I guess it could be because ultimately, at the end of the day, I think Chiron ended up trading his. Um, Chiron ended up trading his immortality for mortality, and then he like died, didn't he? I feel like he gave his immortality to somebody, or he traded places with Prometheus or something like that. And if we don't have to do that, then like, yeah, you know. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. That's why I'm like, okay. So on one hand, while I do roll my eyes and while I am kind of over it, it does also open up the floor to potential beyond potential. And this is what I was preparing myself for. This is the space of what I've been considering. And if the timeline is just accelerated a little bit so we can catch this wave, then it's like, I guess, okay. But it's like to accelerate one timeline, potentially. This is the world of potential. To accelerate one timeline, another one had to be like dragged out. Like another one had to be extended, something else had to be delayed in order to jumpstart something else. Is it a transfer of momentum? I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just like, so this is what we're doing? Okay. Well, I'm gonna play my video games until whoever figures out, sorts out, whatever. And if you need me, if my attention needs to be drawn somewhere, y'all know how to get a hold of me. But yeah. So yes. I don't even know what. Do I need to pull before and after any cards now? I feel like this is pretty much sorted out. I might still pull before and after the Knight of Swords because he is standing here interestingly. Maybe he's like waiting on an assignment. Maybe like he's like, buck up, I dare you. Step up. Step up. I'll cut them chains real quick. Messing with me. They say a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. If you keep messing with me, you ain't even gonna have one in the hand. Better keep your distance, devil energy. I'm watching you. Mess around with me, everybody be free. Like they should have been in the first place anyway. So yeah, anyway. And then they're like, oh, so you bad about it, right? You bad about it, right? I'm like, yeah, I am. Yes, I am. I am really about it. I am for sure. You want to find out? Anyway. Oh, look, the other title card is at the bottom of the deck now. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna give it one more shuffle. Girl, I'm gonna give it one more shuffle. Okay, I keep saying one more. All right, this is it. And then I'm gonna cut it. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, look, it's these. They're here too. Another pair of cards fell out face down on the table. Look, the trumpet flowers. When I saw those flowers, see, I had a dream that night, and the word lily came to me in a language that I don't even know. The word lily popped up in my dream in a language that I don't know. I woke up and I went to Google Translate thinking it was Spanish, and it wasn't. And then I saw the flower and I was like, is that a lily? And then I was like, no. The silent G, I like that. The G in lasagna. Lasagna. Um, those are not water lilies. Calla lily? I don't know what they are. I just call them little white trumpet flowers. I didn't know that they would necessarily be featured today. All right. So from the bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the Moon. It's interesting because the Page of Pentacles, before I put the Magician here, the Page of Pentacles was behind. Oh, look, there's the King of Pentacles I thought I saw. Page of Pentacles is behind the Devil card. Why is this person so extra? Is this me? Yeah, I know I'm a little extra. But then here's the Page of Pentacles again. Also, I saw the Moon, I think at the cutter at the bottom of the deck. The Two of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the Moon. See, what's interesting about this is, though, it feels like both of these are handing something off. The Two of Wands feels like it's almost a rite of passage. The Page of Pentacles feels like it's about trust. Unless the Page of Pentacles just received the pentacle from this like known creature, this Fey man, Fey person. And then with the Moon card, this is so interesting because it's almost, this is high key giving me like, someone's like, here you go, here's this pentacle, here's the world. And then with the Moon card, it's just like, well, what do I do with it? And I don't know if it's supposed to be one of those, you'll know when the time comes. I just started it's new anime season. It's spring. It's the winter shows are ending, which I'm a little sad about on some of them, but it's a whole new season. The spring shows are beginning. And there's one, they're looking for a bartender. And they're like, I want this drink. And they're asking the chairman, they've gone through 30 bartenders. Like there's this new hotel that just opened up. Excuse me. There's this new hotel that opened up like a few months ago, and there's a bar in the hotel that they also want to open up, but they can't find the right bartender for the job. And they've gone through 30 bartenders. And then they're supposed to find somebody who can make this drink. And they're like, what is that drink? Like, and then the chairman or the executive, the person at the top is like, when you have the drink, you'll know. And they're like, when you taste it, you'll know. And it's like, okay, but what does that mean? Maybe this is kind of sort of low-key me. Like, here's a synchronicity. Here's a symbol. Here's a download. And I'm like, okay, like, what do I do with it? When the time comes, you'll know. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just set it on the shelf there. I'll set it on the shelf. I'll keep it right there. And when the time comes, I'll know. I hope I remember where I put it. and I know exactly where to go. And until then, I'm not gonna worry about it. Ain't gonna stress me out. Shoot, life is hard enough. Being human is hard enough without all of this. You can keep all the day on this planet anyway. And people say you're acting, girl. Oh, that's why, like, with some of the people that be over, I'm just like, if y'all don't leave my friend alone, I'm just like, I just be like, really? But you do. You handle it really well. And I'm like, but I guess it comes with the territory. When you out there blazing the trail, headliner front and center, I'm like, okay, girl. Because if they came over here, I'm just playing. All right, looking for the Knight of Swords. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, here we go. So we have the Queen of, oh my gosh, did I not tell you? Did I not say that it's like Queen of Wands energy? This sun card is holding up the sunflower to see if it looks like, behaves like the sunflowers that are nurtured by the sun. Because in the Queen of Wands, her light is the one that grows her sunflowers. She is the sun to her sunflowers. And it's like this in the sun card, he's like, well, here's the one I grew. Like, how does this compare to the other ones? So there she is. And then there's also the King of Pentacles that I thought I saw before, who's actually behind the Page of Pentacles. And then the Ten of Pentacles. Interesting. So the King of Pentacles and the Two of Swords are outside the window. And in this Two of Swords, like, she's just sitting there and they're like battling each other. She's like, I don't care either way. Like, can y'all go make all this noise and make all this racket somewhere else? Like, can't you see that I'm like meditating right now? Anyway, this is the after tarot. So I got the before tarot and then I had the after tarot, and I don't have like a Rider-Waite Smith, but I do have the in between tarot. Tarot, one moment after. So this is like a moment after she's just sitting there holding the two swords. Well, I guess that would be her. She was holding the two swords for these people to pick up and start fighting each other with. But I feel like, for me personally, like whenever I see that, it's like she would be like, I'm not holding these swords for you to like fight each other. Like that's not why I'm giving you these swords. No problem. I love it. I love using the before and the after sometimes too. And sometimes I'll like take it as before or after. Sometimes I'll just take it however it presents, like in the card. Like, is that what they were supposed to do with the swords? I don't know. Maybe they were, who knows? What do I know? So we got the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. This is the inheritance. Grandpa's leaving. It just, what? And look, he's holding the pentacle. He's like, this is a child. The child, what is a child gonna do with all this money? Hello? Don't spend it all in one place now. Interesting. Yeah, I love reading her power. I'm like, yes. Yes, queen. Okay. Oh, what's also interesting. So the salamander belongs to the family of wands. I feel like we see it more in the page, the knight, and the king. and then the queen has her black cat. But in the after tarot, we see that the salamander has visited her too. But maybe it's not until I've heard some, I don't even remember at this point, but I heard somebody mention that the black cat is shown with the Queen of Wands, and it symbolizes her relationship with herself. Like, you're not going to use her shadow against her. Like, there's nothing that you can say to the Queen of Wands that's going to take her off her throne, because she knows and she owns it. And so it's almost like after that point where she owns herself, now the salamander also visits her. Maybe step one was actually like overcoming the shadow enough, because I guess she is also a symbol of light. Because again, like, she's the sun for her field of sunflowers. And so to really be there, she almost like would have to have a healthy, balanced relationship with her shadow to be the light for those sunflowers. And then here's a card of inheritance. Even the Knight of Pentacles, it's like the Knight of Pentacles is going to deliver this pentacle to the sun. Like, you could see he's holding it like he's offering it. Does this mean I'm due for like a windfall of abundance or something? Because I will take it. I will take it. See you later, Steph. Be safe in the storm. Now, the two cards that came out face down, the King of Cups and the Page of Cups. Interesting. Now I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? So the King of Cups is pouring out this cup. Now, I can't remember if the King of Cups before is, I can't remember how much water there is, but it's almost giving me like a bottomless cup. Like the King of Cups is filling this ocean. Oh, maybe it's this right here. Like, there's so little water here that the fish was like in the Page of Cups' cup. And so that's why he's like, oh, like if the fish is in my cup, then the fish must need. Oh, that's my cousin. I was like, oh, who was that? And like the Ace of Cups is the cup overflowing. I have this fortune. I rolled my eyes. I got this fortune the other day that was like, the world could benefit from some love from you or something like that. I'm like, the world gets enough love from me. Okay. The world gets as much love from me as they deserve, as it deserves from me. Gaia, that's one thing. Gaia, amazing. Love her. The world, we'll see. But maybe like I do, I'm like, obviously I love the world. If I didn't trust me, you wouldn't see me at all. See, but even, I mean, I know it happens on the beach, but even all the shells down here, it's reading to me like a place where water used to be. And it's dried up. It's dried up, and the King of Cups has realized that even though it's an entire ocean, or even though it's an entire sea, he has enough water in his cup to like bring water back to places where it used to be. That's just like extra on the side, you know. And then, because like here's the moon card here too, right? It's almost like, well, back in the day, there used to be water here. But now it's like, where did all the water go? Like, the water went all the way out to the sea, and now, like, the shore is here. Girl, I'm so over it. Let me stop. I say I am, but I'm not, but I am, but I'm not, but I am. So. Tell Bun Buns I said when you were doing the video, I think it was the one that you did on the couch, and she was like in front of the camera. I was like, "Aw." It reminded me of those Zoom nights where Bunny would be like, "Who is you?" Keeping my mama up at all kinds of hours of the night. She should be petting me, talking to me. Bun Buns. It was so nice. Thanks for stopping by. Tell Bun Buns I said hi. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. TTFN, ta-ta for now. I just got some chips today, too. I was like, man, it's been a minute since I got my chips and wine and Ream Zoom night. But also, like I said, I just been on the couch playing games, watching anime, catching up in the library. See, that was when you said that was so. I was like, Bunny is doing what? I almost left a comment. I was like, she doing what? Yeah. And then you were like, oh, yeah, she's just like humping and irritating her throat. Or her trachea. I think you said it's her trachea. It's like, oh my gosh. Get it, Bunny. Get it, girl. That was so funny. All right. Hey, Google. Hey, Google. Roll a d4, please.
It's 4.
4 again. Okay, this time because these cards are so big, I'm just gonna pull them off the top. So I'm gonna get one more shuffle. I got some reversals in here. I'm gonna read them from the book because if it called me out, it called me out. And I'll do one more of these. First card is. Am I going to read these one at a time? Sure. The first card is the 7 of Swords. And it's this guy up front with all that in the back. Almost giving me, I think it was the 9 of Swords in the Dungeons and Dragons tarot. I can't remember exactly the vibe that was giving me. But I think I remember what it said. Let's see. 7 of Swords. They said, Patrick, sneaky. What's below the surface isn't necessarily what you see above the surface. I'm like, girl, I'm literally just a guy. I'm just a little muggle guy. Formerly in my mom's house. Theft, sabotage, and strategy. Someone is up to no good. However dishonorable the plan, it will be well constructed because this person is a master of strategy. If you are the master strategist, consider turning your intelligence to a different scheme. If it is someone else, be aware that sabotage is afoot. Keep valuables, especially ideas, prize documents, and inventions safe, and don't try to abscond with someone else's. I feel like there are so many things that I'll talk about on here. There are some things that I won't necessarily share. But I'll be like, oh yeah, that's for me. Can we clarify this? Am I the 7 of Swords? Is someone else the 7 of Swords? Is it just there's more than meets the eye energy? I guess if I look at it, maybe it's I could see this as being there's a level of, I feel like it's almost I don't mind having a little bit of healthy ego. I absolutely don't mind having a healthy ego. But I almost wonder if this is like there's a lot more intelligence. I feel like if you, I don't know, I would say if you know me, I feel like even if you watch me, I kind of like, I bring an element of thought to a lot. And it's not to say that I don't trust my intuition, but I feel like even on here, sometimes I will be like, can I just like, or like sometimes it'll be after the reading, or maybe I'll watch it back. I think it'll be mostly after the reading where it'll be like, can I not just like read the cards without being like trying to put the human element into it? Because, like I said, even for me, like if there's something that's coming from me, I myself, I don't necessarily over intellectualize it, but I will intellectualize it to the point that's like, is this something that I can like work with? Is this something that like even if this something that I even if this is something that I align to, like, am I in a position where I can say yes to it? Or like, what does this mean? You know? And maybe there are some things that I could lose because of like over intellectualizing, or I will say though, there are some things that like, especially at a certain point in time, if I don't get it, then I just like I said, I put it on the shelf and I'm like, I'll get to it when I get to it, or I'll get to it when I get more context, or I'll get to it when it makes sense. Because I'm not about to sit here and just like, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? It's like, no. Maybe I should ask, what does this mean sometimes? You know what I mean? And I do think too, like, not that I would necessarily call it like a Seven of Swords energy, but there is so much that happens sometimes. There's so much that happens to me internally that I'm like, I'm not really a person of singular reasoning. And so if I make a choice or if I make a decision, there's like a lot of thought that goes behind it. And there are multiple perspectives and multiple viewpoints that go into it as well. And I don't necessarily, I know in the past, I wasn't good at communicating it like at all. In the past, I would just be like, oh, in the past, I would be like, they wouldn't get it. Like, they wouldn't understand even if I explained it to them. So I'm not even going to bother. And so maybe there have been people in my life, especially like way, way, way back in the day, that was like, well, like, this just came out of nowhere. Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, it didn't just come out of nowhere. I'm not a person of singular reasoning. And it's like the Taurus in me has learned patience. And if it gets to that point where it's like, I can't justify this anymore, then it's, maybe to some it could come across that way. I don't know. Let's get one of these. One of these. I'll close my eyes for. Ooh, who was that? Like flipped over. Oh, it didn't flip over. It just flipped out a little bit. Oh, look, it's the Sun card. I'll put it back. It didn't come all the way out. It just like opened up in my hand a little bit. It was the baby of the sun tugging on a red flag. Ooh. Oh, yeah, okay. Bottom of the deck is the Six of Wands. What? Is it really that time already? I guess so. Have a safe drive home, Eve. Have a safe drive home. Oh, 3 cards came out. The title card, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Hermit. With that Seven of Swords, to clarify the Seven of Swords. There's that Knight of Pentacles again. And there's the Hermit with the full-grown dog. We saw the full-grown black cat right here. The black cat and the Queen of Wands, the black dog, and the Hermit. And then, oh, I didn't even catch this. Little black cat, little white puppy. So maybe it is that. And I feel like now I'm better. I don't know. I feel like I haven't necessarily Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I am. I feel like I am. I've definitely gotten more patient over the years. Um, I learned that from a dear, dear, dear friend of mine. But also with that same friend, like it was different. You know what I mean? The Hermit, the Knight of Pentacles, and the After Tarot. Maybe more so because this is the Seven of Swords, and so maybe more so on that side. It could be because the Knight of Pentacles is about movement. Also, there are like two white bulls in the field, and I am a Taurus moon and rising. They're back there. Lots of little animals all over the place. Um, Maybe this more so almost relates to what I was talking about earlier, partly on how I intellectualize things. I think Rob might have said that I'm like, I have this intellectual almost approach. Maybe not. Maybe I'm making it up. I don't remember. Um, like this could be the things that I process internally. It's also interesting that this kind of sort of comes out under the moon, the Hermit and the Moon, Virgo and Pisces. It's like there are things that I'll process internally. Like I said, I'm a person of multiple reasoning. Like I don't necessarily believe in singular reasoning. And there's a lot of stuff that I process internally. And then I'll make moves, even if it's like slow. And then I'll move externally. And all of that internal processing, I don't think I necessarily like talk about it. I don't think I necessarily share it, but I don't think either that it's ever necessarily like something that's anyone's business. You know what I mean? Because like I don't have kids, I don't have a spouse or a partner. So who would I have to explain anything to? You know what I mean? As far as like what I'm doing in my own like personal life or why I'm navigating in the way that I'm navigating or why I make the choices and decisions that I make. You know, like who do I owe an explanation to? Maybe somebody feel like I owe them an explanation. And it's not that I necessarily like hide it. It's just like I said, like I'll be like thinking about something and then like something will come up or I'll just randomly like I'll go on a tangent of random thoughts one day of like, what if this happened? What if that happened? Like, have you ever considered this? What would you think about this? Have you ever like whatever? And I'm like thinking about it. And then if something comes up or if something happens, then it's like, oh, I'll do this or I'll move in this direction. And it's not because it's not thought out. But also like it's the title card. Like the title card is my live life and find out card. Like live life and see. Like don't try to it's like the title card can come out in some situations where it can be detrimental and or dangerous to consider a future situation problem scenario with the current understanding because there's so much of life and growth and maturity and meetings and other things happening between now and then that the choice and decision that we make then may be completely different than the one that we're making today. So it doesn't benefit us to go into a situation where we already don't have much of a knowing or a context with our minds made up because of something that came up like months ago when we didn't know anything or when we knew partially. So when I was like, I don't necessarily feel like it's anyone's business, all of the internal workings and everything that I have going on inside of me. And for me, the title card is the confirmation. Like, yeah, live life and find out. It's not it's not anyone's business. You know what I mean? So is that me? Is that a perception of that? That's what this was about. Like, it's about me and about the perception of me. Next card is the Page of Cups in reverse. Oof. There isn't even a person on this Page of Cups. This is like a place. Hello? So yeah, maybe it is related to the last one. Like, wow, like 1 second. Oops. 1 second. All right. The Page of Cups in reverse. I feel like the Page of Cups in reverse may just like, are these the cards of like how I'm perceived? And the other cards are like how I am. I feel like the Page of Cups in reverse. I feel like the Page of Cups in general. I feel like people see me in a certain type of way. I feel like people see me as, honestly, I think sometimes people see me as someone who's like gullible, someone who may not have like a spine or a backbone, and someone that people can just like use, take advantage of, or walk all over. And like either I'm too naive to see it, or I'm so sweet and so nice that I wouldn't like that I would basically just put up with it. That is not me. That's why you see the two bulls in the back that are walking away from the situation. Like, that's not me at all. Like, you see my Pisces sun, you see my Pisces Mercury, you see my loving, tender Taurus heart. But I'm a first house Taurus moon. If I was a 12th house Taurus moon, maybe that would be me. But I'm a first house Taurus moon. And I'm not surprised that I'm a first house Taurus moon because ultimately, as like fluid and as flexible as I am, there are some things that I am very, very, very stubborn about and that I am not going to move or I'm not going to budge on. And especially when it comes to the way that I'm treated specifically, or when it comes to the way that people treat other people. Like I look at how people treat me and I look at how people treat other people. And for me, that's one of the things that I don't really compromise on too much. Cause I'm just like, no. It's just like it different. I'm just like, no. Page of Cups in reverse. Let's see. In reverse, this is emotional immaturity, defensiveness, and insatiable hunger. This person is emotionally immature and not interested in changing. I guess I'm immature and not interested in changing. Their overly sensitive nature makes them difficult to help. No matter what you do, they will not be satisfied. With little power to do real damage, they are ineffectual but exhausting to deal with. This card can also represent a happy message, a declaration of love, or a nice surprise. I definitely could see like emotional immaturity, defensiveness, stubborn, hard to satisfy, especially like from certain perspectives, from certain people. I feel like anybody who feels like they may have been sent this ways by me probably definitely sees this. But again, I feel like it's because sometimes there's such a stark contrast And especially like when I know that somebody is somebody who, when I know that someone is the type of person that treats people a certain type of way, I'm already disinterested. I'm already like, for me, like that's one of my icks. It's like being inconsiderate or just like being whole scale. Like, I'm just like, I can't. And maybe it's the Pisces. Maybe it's just a part of me that cares about people and that loves people in general that can't, that has like limited tolerance for some. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just like, I don't know. I don't think I need clarifiers on this. I feel like this is how I was initially reading that Seven of Swords. And again, like I'm not a person of singular reasoning, but when it comes to the way that people treat people and when the way that like people talk about people, I don't know. Um, it just like it doesn't vibe with me. And it's like there's enough of that in the world. It's tired. It's just like old. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to say. And I feel like that's the majority. Like I'm also the type of person where it's like if you don't care how I feel, if you don't care about my feelings, like why would I want to be around somebody that doesn't care about people? You know what I mean? It's just like it's to me it wouldn't make sense to like it wouldn't make sense to stay. Like if you don't care about me, you cannot care about me from afar. You know you know what I mean? If you don't consider my feelings, you cannot consider my feelings from a distance. Like you ain't gotta be right next to me, not care like ew, no, I don't know. Anyway. Should I be more flexible? Let's see. I'm gonna pull a card from the middle. Cause again, like that's something for me. I don't have a lot of like hard lines, but that's a hard line for me. That's a hard line to me. For me and to me. I just like I can't because I feel like realistically, I'm never going to be in a point or I'm never going to be in a position, and there will probably never be a circumstance where I would agree that people should be like disregarded, not considered, or taken advantage of. And so when it comes to the things that matter in life, like we're obviously going to be standing on different sides of the fence. And I don't want to be the person that's like, I don't, it's not even like embarrassment, but it's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I can't imagine. Like, I know that people are complex. I know that we're complicated, and I know that certain matters aren't necessarily simple. But it's like I don't know. I just don't. I'm not there. I don't know if I'll ever want to be there. Yeah, but I don't know if I'll ever want to be there. I don't know if I ever will be there. I don't want to be there to get to the point where I don't even really care about people or where I can look at someone and not even see a person. It's just like it's wild to me. But I'll pull another one. What's this? The Two of Cups upright. Yeah, no. See, this is what I'm about. High key. And to not see people as people, to not treat people like people, to disregard or see someone as less than because of anything, or to see people like as like disposable. Like I know that it will negatively impact some people, but that's fine. I'm like, oh no, because that's such a slippery slope. That is such a slippery slope. Two of Cups. There is a moment when you catch someone's eye and just know that there is something there to explore. Maybe it is fleeting romance, lasting love, or friendship. This is connection, kindred spirit, and attraction upright. While it is too soon to tell where the connection will lead, there is potential. The strong attraction might inspire fear, but it is worth the risk. It's that kindred spirit for me. Like, that type of person is not a kindred spirit to me. And I can't, because in my mind, it's something like, let's say that something happens in the world, or let's say that something happens in the day to day, and like me and you are somewhere. And then you say something completely wild or completely off the wall. And then I'm there just like, I don't know. I don't get it. It can't be. It can't be me. I can't. So yeah, I'm gonna say these two go together because it's just like yeah, and don't nobody got to look into this. Okay, this is just me. I'm weird. I know. Like when I told my best friend, like when we first met, I was like, I don't get upset about the type of stuff that a lot of people get upset about. And I can be kind of weird about the stuff that I care about. It's a whole bunch of stuff I don't necessarily care about, but it's, it's some stuff that I really, really, really do. And one of the things that I care about is like people, but like for real, you know what I mean? Like in real life. The next card is the Ace of Swords. Wow. Is this like Patrick will cut you off in a minute? No warning. I'm kidding. I mean, honestly, back in the day, like there were people who, again, like I'm not necessarily a person of singular reasoning. So I have had friends back in the day where it's like I would notice where they would like I would establish a boundary and they would cross it. And I would be like, you're crossing a boundary, and they would be like, they would not care. And then I would notice how they talk about other people. And I would notice how they interact with other people. And I'm like, excuse me, I'd be like, yeah, this isn't going to work. But I wouldn't necessarily like say to that person, blah, 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 blah. And so, like, I'm not interested in being your friend anymore. If this is what you call friendship, I'm not interested. I would just kind of like do the Pisces thing, I guess, where sometimes Pisces, it just swim away. Because in my mind, it's like if you can't even see the way that you treat people, or if you can't even see how you impact people, then what good is me telling you? You know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't have to, like, if I tell you that I have a boundary and then I tell you that you're crossing my boundary, I shouldn't have to tell you why it's important to me that you stop crossing my boundaries that I clearly communicate. I shouldn't have to tell you as my friend, as someone who supposedly cares about me, like why this is a problem. And if you don't get it, like they're, you know, like I've had friends, one in particular, where like the N word has kind of been like, not, yeah, narcissist. Sorry, I was like the N word, where it was kind of like floated a little bit. And I'm like you don't, and it's like again, it was like wild to me how little consideration there could be for the people that they claim to like care about. Because in my mind, maybe I'm the type of person where it's like, again, if someone communicates a boundary to me, like I have one friend who I'm kind of like elusive Pisces. I just like slip past all the different. We became really, really, really good friends really quick. And I felt like there was like certain conversations that you'd have with like a closer friend that we kind of like certain topics that we kind of sort of like breached early. And then he was like, well, like I don't necessarily feel comfortable like talking about this. Like this is a boundary. I'm like, thank you for communicating your boundary to me. Okay, I'll let it go. I'll let it be. And then after some time, now we're talking about stuff that, we didn't necessarily talk about then, but also like it's been years. And like for me, I'm like when I feel that level of kinship or when I feel that level of friendship with somebody, then like I'll open up and we can talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But for me also, like it happens a lot quicker. Sometimes. Sometimes I'm slow, sometimes I'm quick. It depends. But like I'm a respecter of boundaries because if I care about you, I'm gonna respect your boundaries. If I do something that upsets you, I'm gonna stop doing it because I care about you. Like I'm not like why would I call myself someone's friend or why would I so-called call myself caring about somebody and not respect their feelings or the things that they like that's important to them that they care about that's their boundaries. Like why would I, as a friend, do something that complete strangers can do and do something that people don't like you can do to you? Like, why would I do that to you? You know what I mean? And not even like specifically, just like in general. But I guess to me, that's what it means to care about someone is to like respect them and to honor them, especially when it's communicated or just people in general. Excuse me. Ace of Swords. Maybe this is different. Maybe we're taking a detour. Ace of Swords. Upright. This is clarity, insight, and truth. The sun broke through those dense clouds. Oh, look at this. Reminds me of that. Excuse me. On the lovers, how fitting. The sun broke through those dense clouds, and now you can see clearly. Clarity of mind allows you to discern the truth and cut through deception. In this new light, previously hidden details and patterns become apparent. Your mind quickly puts the pieces together, resulting in insight that untangles a Gordian knot. This moment will pass, so act quickly before doubt distracts you. I feel like we just went. It is what it is. This is the tea. This is the tea on me. You know, that was the point. Like, what's the tea on me? So this is saying that I have clarity of mind. This is saying that I'm very insightful and I tell the truth. The sun broke through the dense clouds and now you can see clearly. Your mind quickly puts the pieces together, resulting in insight that untangles a Gordian knot. I feel like the Ace of Swords is just the Ace of Swords. So can I get, I guess, a clarifying for this, please? I'm gonna give it two more. If nothing comes out, I'll honor it. Ooh. Okay. The High Priestess is at the bottom of the deck. The card that came out is the Five of Swords. Oof. Am I just like harsh? So we got to see some of the light of me. Now we get to, this is the dark side of Patrick. I guess. This is my shadow. The Queen of Wands did come out. Excuse me, the Ace of Swords plus the Five of Swords is the Six of Swords, which is another card of movement. It's an energy of movement. The Five of Swords with the Ace of Swords, I feel like it relates to, again, like I feel like this makes me sound so inflexible. And I am in some ways. And like I said, I've gotten a lot more patient over the years. I feel like I've gotten better at communicating. Like, I'm like thinking, I'm like, by and large, I've gotten better at communicating. And again, I feel like earlier when I was saying, like, when I was mentioning, I feel like I'm the type of person where it's like, you could observe one behavior from me and then observe another behavior, and they may look similar, but they're like just completely different. Like for completely different reasons. Like I was tired. So that's why like I've been a little absent, or like I was going through something. I feel like it's been a minute since I've like really been going through. Or like I've been like my mind has been preoccupied, like thinking of this or thinking about that. Like I can see me more as like preoccupied in terms of like considering something that I'm gonna do or not do or pursue or whatever. I feel like there are times when I have like I said, with that Seven of Swords, I feel like there is a lot of thought that happens in my mind. And there's also sometimes a lot of just winging it, just going with the flow that happens. It's kind of both. Excuse me, but I can be like mentally just like preoccupied to the point where it's like, oh, like, sorry. I know you haven't heard from me in a while. But I also like, I have a fair number of friends who are also like that. Like, so for me, because I can be like that and because I've had friends like that, I don't take it personally if someone is like, if someone needs a little distance or if someone needs a little like space or if someone is just like a little absent because maybe they got busy and life is like that. Like, I don't, I'm like, I get it. I'm there sometimes. uh, and I have had friends that tell me how much they appreciate it. But to me, it's not necessarily anything out of the ordinary, I guess, if that makes sense. Like life happens sometimes, you know? And because I've had so many friends like that too, because that understanding is already like there, for me, it's not anything that's necessarily like um, atypical. But for people who don't have a lot of people in their lives that can afford them the same space, or because you know different things mean different things for different people, um, and the only way that we know what things mean is if we communicate it. So maybe this is just like also a warning to me as well moving forward to like communicate. But this is also like this is a big lesson that I had to learn when I was like really young. I had a short fuse and there were certain things that my tolerance was like almost zero for. And then somebody pulled me to the side one day because I had gotten like mad. And she was basically like, people aren't mind readers. They don't know if they're upsetting you unless you tell them that they're upsetting you. And I was like, oh, wow, like, I guess that's true. Like, even if I am like a little empathic or whatever, or even if I can tell or feel when like something is upsetting somebody, unless they like confirm it, or like if this is some isn't someone that I'm like really like connected to, or like if something is just happening, I wouldn't know unless they told me, and I never. So then I started communicating it, and then I discovered people that didn't care, even if I communicated it, and I was like, wow, like this is real crazy. So I'm telling you, and you still don't care. Okay, so you deserve whatever's about to happen because I did my part. My part was communicating. Your part is to let me know where you stand. And then from there, we can make a decision. From there, I can make a decision and you can make a decision. And we'll see if we arrive to the same conclusion. Uh, and then somebody else, like, so that's like when I was a kid. And then somewhere around 2016, I had another conversation with another friend that was like, well, you know, like not everyone can necessarily pick up on those subtle cues. So sometimes you got to tell somebody. And I was like, I do speak. I've been saying it ain't my fault if somebody don't believe me. Oh, you didn't think I was serious? I know I like to joke around a lot, but I am capable of being serious. Um, but yeah, there is that certain part of me that just is not, I don't want to say it's not compromising, but it kind of isn't. And there are certain things that I can understand. Like I've also grown to understand why someone may be the way that they are, or I've also grown to understand that circumstances could lead someone to whatever. But to me, at the same time, it's like, so I can understand where you're coming from. I can be um, not sympathetic, but like I can empathize with you. Oh, see, I feel like empathize is a little strong because I those are like situations and scenarios where I wouldn't necessarily be the same. But I'm like, even if I do understand, I also don't have to subject myself to this kind of treatment. Like I also don't have to tolerate this. And I don't feel like it's my job to teach or train or whatever of like a full grown adult. I'm not there. I'm not, and I'm not the type of like, I don't ask anyone to change. For me, I, if there are things that I need to change within myself in order to like make a relationship or a friendship smoother, then like if it's stuff within me that I need to work on, then I'll work on it. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I want to be a better me, you know. But if the other person don't feel the same, like I'm not gonna demand it. I'm just like, okay, like not everything is meant to like work out. Not everyone is meant for everyone. Not everything is meant for everybody. And I feel like I can leave it at like I feel like this Five of Swords is that like logical understanding. So there are some points, I guess, where for me it can be a little more like head over heart. Like I logically know not everything is for everybody and not everything is going to work out. And even if I'm sad that I like might lose somebody, I can appreciate them for what they mean to me while at the same time choose to not put myself in situations where I'm feeling some type of way and to not ask someone else to put themselves in a situation where they feel some type of way. Right. It can be this like friendly, amicable, like, we'll just go our separate ways. It's fine. You don't like my humor. Like, I think it's hilarious that blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, I don't think that's funny. That's why high key, you'll hear it from me straight from my mouth. I don't like Cards Against Humanity. I don't. I don't like I don't get it. Like the point of the game is to literally almost be the worst kind of person that you can be. To like make the lowest of blows, to pull no punches, and to really go for it. And it's like, oh my gosh, that was so terrible. Like, oh, you get the point. I'm like, I get it. I understand that it's a thing that people do. I'm not that person. I will never enjoy a game unless it's like silly. I'm like, if it's silly, yeah. But a lot of people don't go the silly route when it comes to Cards Against Humanity. And then I'm just sitting there like, I know this is supposed to be lighthearted. I know this is supposed to be a joke, but it's not funny. Like, it's because sometimes we can trivialize certain things that it's hard to take it seriously when it's an actual problem. Or like when there's a problem that actually needs to be addressed. This is the reason why we can't take anything seriously. So yeah, every time I can dodge Cards Against Humanity, I do. I played it one time. And the only card that I won in Cards Against Humanity, I won it because my card said toaster or something like that. I won a card with toaster because like again, like jokes and stuff, like it's not funny to me, and I'm not gonna make jokes like that. Like I'm not gonna make jokes at the expense of a person who already has a lot of jokes made at their expense. But to each their own. I'm not going to say no one should play Cards Against Humanity. I'm just going to say you're not going to catch me at the table. And there are certain things that I just like, I'd rather not know. There are certain things that I'd rather just like not hear, regardless of if it's just a joke. Like, oh, I was just kidding. It was just a joke. I'm like, but it's not funny. Because then if you make a joke at the expense of them, they feel some type of way. Like, oh, if you would get upset if someone made a joke about you, do you not see how someone else could get upset that you're making a joke about them? Like, that's another thing that I don't get about people. They'll do a whole bunch of stuff at the expense of someone else, but when it's done at their expense, they get really upset. And it's like, do you not think that other people are afforded the same courtesy that you believe you're entitled to, because you're acting real upset right now and it's just a joke? It's just something that we're saying like lightheartedly. Like, why are you getting so mad? Because your feelings are hurt? Again, it's a thing. Maybe it's like a reciprocity thing to me. Like, if you wouldn't like it being done to you or said about you, why would you in turn do it or say it about somebody else? Like, again, it's weird to me. I don't know if that was the Five of Swords, Ace of Swords, but like, there are certain things that are like very clear to me. Maybe that's it. There are certain things that are very clear to me. And when something becomes very clear to me, like, I grew up on like, relationships are a two-way street, right? Relationships are about give and take. Friendships, platonic, romantic, whatever. So if at any point I'm not interested, or if I want to leave, I can, because it's two ways, right? Like, if you make the choice to leave, you can. You know what I mean? Like, so like, yeah, it's a two-way street and it's closed. And unless I feel like no one's really interested in a one-way friendship, a one-way relationship. So like, yeah, no. I'll just do us both a favor. The last card is Justice. Oof. Also, the Seven of Swords plus the Ace of Swords is the Eight of Swords. Just throwing that out there. Justice. This is justice, karma, cause, and effect. Justice is not blind. Love this. Excuse me. Justice is not blind. It is the force of balance in the universe. For all actions, there are consequences. Do what is right, and you need not fear justice's sword. Take up the sword and act on justice's behalf by helping restore balance and fairness. The measures you take now will significantly impact your future. And so, yeah, I feel like all of this is based upon, albeit a personal sense of justice. All this is based upon like justice. Again, it's like, I feel like we get so comfortable in general saying and doing and believing things at the expense of others, but when it's us on the receiving end, we don't like it. And I feel like we shouldn't personally have to be affected by things to care about it. I feel like we shouldn't have to personally be impacted to stand up for and with someone who is impacted. Like, and that's another thing that kind of sort of gets me sometimes, where some people may be like, well, why do you even care so much? Like, it doesn't even impact you. Because it impacts somebody. Like, so am I supposed to wait until I am personally affected and personally impacted to care about anything? Because that happens. And guess what? It don't work out for nobody. Because sometimes if we ignore it when it happens to everyone else, by the time it comes for us, there's no one left to care, or like literally everyone experiences this and everyone is going through it. Like, what makes you any special, or any much more different or unique that you don't deserve it to happen to you, but everybody else deserves it to happen to them? Again, in my mind, it's like, it's not something that I can justify. Because in my mind, like, if I don't care about anything, what reason would it have to care for me? I don't know. Well, I guess this is into the working mind of it. These are the things that draw on the shadow of Patrick, I guess. And again, I'm not a person of singular reasoning. So for me, it'll be a lot of things that I notice. If I ever reach that point, it'll be a lot of things that I notice. And I'm like, no. Or if I communicate a boundary and it's not like honored or respected, that's a lot of reason. That carries a lot of weight for me too. Because then it's like, well, what's the point if you're not going to respect me or my boundaries? And then it can turn a relationship into something toxic, where we're like both just trying to cross each other's boundaries, or we're both purposely trying to get at each other or get under each other's skin, or we're trying to upset the other person. And I'm like, I got too much Taurus in my chart. I'd be too tired to. I'm already exhausted just thinking about it. I don't have that kind of time. I don't have that kind of energy. I'm not interested in wasting effort in something like that, because like, why would I purposefully choose to continuously just be in that? It's just like there's nothing about it that's appealing or comforting. And I'm also the type of person though, like I don't mind being alone. So I'm not gonna stay in something or be somewhere just because I don't want to be alone. Like there are worse fates than being alone. And I feel like being in a situation, in a scenario that's just like toxic and mean, and this game of who can degrade or disregard the other person more. It's like being alone is like the preferred alternative. And that's not just like relationships, it's not just with people, it's with a lot of aspects of life for me. Which is again like why I would love to be a better and better and better and better version of me, because I don't want to, like, the people that I love and care about and the people that I cherish, I want them to like know, like what I was saying earlier. Like I may not necessarily say it all, like I do say it. I may not say it all the time, but I definitely like show it. I would think, I would hope. I'm more of a person of like action, like, or a person of both. And yeah, so yeah. And I feel like this Page of Cups in reverse, Two of Cups is almost like carries an energy of that lovers, where it's like, if it works, it works. If it makes sense, it makes sense. If it vibes, it vibes. If it gels, it gels, and all is well. All is well. But I'm also like not gonna try to force something to work, or if that doesn't work. You know what I mean? So, anyway. Yeah. And like there are plenty of friends that I have that are like, I feel like I can be pretty stubborn and inflexible on the things I'm inflexible on. But like I don't think all of my friends have to be like exempt. Like if you respect people, that's like, I feel like the bar is so low, but it's so high at the same time. Like if you respect people and can acknowledge people, and maybe I think another thing that kind of puts the bar understandably high is that like it may be a lot for me to expect from people and jobs to like not only consider other people as people, not only to treat other people like they're people, but to also be able to put one's own ego to the side. Because again, like if I upset somebody that I care about, it doesn't matter to me how much I don't want to be wrong, or how much I don't want to look like a villain, like, or how much I don't want to be the bad guy, or how much I don't want to look like the bad guy. Like, I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't care what I look like. I don't care how I come across. I don't want to be the bad guy. And so if I have to like own up to something, then I'll own up to it. And it doesn't matter if I'm embarrassed or whatever, especially if it's somebody that I care about, because I care more about you than I care about me being comfortable. And if I'm going to do something that upsets somebody that I care about, and I don't want to upset people that I care about, then it would stand to reason I have to be willing to hear when I do things that upset the people that I care about. Because if I'm not willing to hear it, or if I'm not willing to listen to it, how in the world am I supposed to be able to be who I want to be and how I want to be? You know what I mean? That would be setting an unfair standard for myself. That would be to attract relationships that are doomed to fail, because I don't want to upset people, but also I'm not open enough to hear when I'm upsetting people. So how in the world am I supposed to? I guess I'm just supposed to be perfect. You know what I mean? I don't know, but again, like when it comes to, but that's another thing for me, where it's like it's the lack of reciprocity. Because again, if someone were to upset us and we were to speak up for ourselves, we would feel justified in that. But whenever we upset someone else as people, whenever we upset someone else, we think that we deserve some kind of special treatment that we didn't even give to the person that we upset. It's like if something happens, like, and you're in a public setting and they go like, oh, well, you should have pulled me aside. You should have spoke to me in private about how I upset you publicly. Like, that's weird to me, because you didn't upset somebody in private. You upset them in public. And if you upset someone in public and nothing is done, everyone who's there in the situation may think that it's okay for them to do the same, and it's not. So you brought it up in a public space, in a public forum. We can address it and talk about it in a public space, in a public forum. Like, again, just like, but we as people in general are just like, we are entitled to so much more than we give other people. And that's something that I don't understand. And maybe that's the heart of like why I really feel the way I feel about a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to me, but even when I observe it outside of me. And that's why I don't mind being called out too. Because now that we can have this one conversation and everybody knows what's up. Now this ain't like 5 different conversations that have to happen in private and 4, 5, 6 different incidents that happen in public. No. But again, it doesn't make sense to me for me to feel entitled to more than what I'm willing to give, or for more than I'm willing to do. Like, in what world does that make sense? I know a lot of people are like that, and I know it's pretty like just in general how we as humans work, but it's weird to me. And so I try my best not to be that person. And I think because of that, again, it's one of those weird, that's not weird to me. It's one of those maybe atypical things that I'm not super flexible about. Because it's like, again, we should know how to treat each other. We should, like, if you would want to be treated differently, or if you would want to be treated better, you should be willing to treat people better. But, you know, sometimes people just get to demand respect or demand a certain level of treatment and not be responsible for giving it. And it's like, I don't know, that's just, again, that's how I try not to be at the very least. So, oh, look, there's the Ace of Swords again. With the Falcon. All right. Oof. It is what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. But that's what I told that friend up front. I was like, I care about some stuff that a lot of people don't care about. And I don't care about some stuff that a lot of people do. And one of the things that I really care about is how people are treated and how I'm treated. How people are talked about and how I'm talked about. And if there's a level of consideration that's there. Because if it's not there, like, to me, I really fail to see the point. Is the point just so that I won't be alone? Is the point so that I intentionally suffer in ways that I don't have to? I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, let's wrap this up. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Cool. We have we got two. Is that the king? The King of Wands and the Page of Cups. That's the same Page of Cups that we saw earlier. Bottom of the deck is the Page of Swords. He's looking almost like that sun card was looking. King of Wands, Page of Cups, Page of Swords. 3 out of 4 suits. Here, what is this? The King of Wands is like... This King of Wands is interesting. Because, like, his staff is cracked to the ground. Okay, if I hold it that way, you won't be able to see it. You see, D? There you go. It's almost like he's trying to find water. Because, like, so the wands is fire, is the light. But water provides certain nutrients for the plant that sunlight doesn't. So it's almost like the soil needs something in order for this wand to, like, grow. Or he's like, I feel like, was that Ron? I think that was Ron in the Norse divination, Yggdrasil divination cards a while ago, where she was like poking the ocean floor looking for volcanic, like underwater volcanic vents or something like that. But it's almost like a similar energy, like trying to find the water. But I feel like the thing about the wand is if there is water underground, because it's like a little tree, a sapling, it's almost like it would pull the water up to the surface. Hmm. Where is your salamander? Excuse me. That's what I got. The King of Wands is looking to see if there's any water, and the Page of Cups is like, this is Jupiter. No, it's not. I thought it was Jupiter on the cup. The Page of Cups is like, oh no, my cup is dry. Like, maybe that's why the fish jumped out of the cup. Because even the cup itself, like, there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 drops of water that were in that cup when the fish came out. It's like it's a hostile environment for little Pisces. Even with the Taurus moon and rising. Where's the water? Where's the water? Oh, it's been dry for a long, long time. Ace of Pentacles. All right. Final card from the After Tarot. I have to think. 2 cards came out face up. Bottom of the deck is the Page of Cups. There he is again. But that Page of Cups at least has more water in it. Six of Cups and the Queen of Swords. I don't know. Like, to me, because the Six of Cups has an association with the past, um, it's like, remember when, like, this desert used to be an ocean? I feel like there's a part of it that's about understanding how things, about trying to understand how things became the way that they are. But then there's also a part that's about, like, not necessarily going back to the way things used to be, because we can't go back into the past. Time moves on, time moves forward into the future. And in the future, there may be knowledges, considerations, concerns, circumstances that weren't present in the past. And I feel like, just in general, right? Whenever we try to go back and relive a glory day, or to go back to when the heyday was, we also have to be considerate and aware of the fact that things have changed. And so to just go back isn't to necessarily even bring about what we thought or what we think we would want. Because again, like, enough has changed. So imagine, like, yay! I told somebody to text me when they made it home, and they didn't, but then she did text me later. So glad to hear it. Excuse me. You skipped the best part. Don't even have to go back and rewatch. Trust me. um, like, it wouldn't work. It's like, imagine being an adult, right? And being like, oh man, I miss the days when I was a baby. Like, let's go back to when I was a baby. Um, but it's like, you wouldn't fit in the crib. You can't go back into your mother's womb. Your taste buds have evolved, so you probably wouldn't enjoy baby food. You may not enjoy baby food the same way that you did. Like, you wouldn't even be able to control your own bladder. Like, do you really want to go back? And I feel like, more often than not, sometimes there are certain things that we don't want to, like, there are certain situations that we don't want to replicate, but we miss the times when something else was easier. And it's like, again, like, time moves forward. It's not like we would go back or revert and unlearn or unknow everything that we now know. So it would still not be like death rush. It would still not be like preferable, you know? And maybe some people don't like the way that the world has changed, you know? But again, it's just like, by and large, in general, it's almost like, if it would have worked then, like, it would be working now. Or if it would have worked then it's like, it feels like, if it would have worked then, it would still be around, or something like that. Like, if it was perfect then, it would still, like, that's what it would still be. And so maybe the question is, like, if there are some feelings, or if there were some things that you liked, how do you integrate, how do you create that in a modern world? Like, this is a modern take on a 16th century tale, right? Like, what's her name wouldn't have had to wait a week to hear from Mr. Darcy, because they could literally, like, instant message if it was like 1990 something, or they could just, like, text, email. It's quicker, it's instantaneous. It's like, whenever something is modernized, And it feels like it wouldn't require a lot of change because there's only one butterfly in this card. It's the one butterfly on the sword. And two, with the Six of Cups, like it was time for the kids to go home. Like maturation, growth, it happens. It was time for the children to no longer like just be little children outside playing. And maybe this Page of Cups is a challenge or some kind of difficulty in growing and maturing and getting older, right? Like, oh, I miss when things were so much simpler and so much easier. What, like when you were a child and you had some children have a lot of responsibilities, and some children have childhoods that are more like adulthoods, and they shouldn't have to. But unfortunately, that is the reality for some children. But it's like, yeah, I'm sure things may have been simpler when everything was like taken care of. Yes, yes, yes. It's like a lot of external synchronicities. I'm like, okay. I don't know what this means, but fine. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune was at the bottom of the deck. Change it. I don't think I've seen the Wheel of Fortune in this deck, honestly. I didn't even look at the card at the bottom of the deck. Excuse me. Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. I don't know what it, I don't know what it means like personally, but I was like, what's going on? What's happening? Like I'm also like weird. I'm a weirdo, and I love me for it. But I was like, what is going on? Who? I hope not. Wait. Oh my gosh, I forgot I said that. Didn't I say that? I was like, Eve, there may be a chance that I'll be in your neighborhood. Honestly, that possibility has moved several steps closer to the world that is my reality. So maybe I'll be in Texas. Maybe I won't be. We'll see. We'll see. It wouldn't be so bad. Honestly, like, it wouldn't be the worst if I were in Texas. Wish I was in Texas. The ocean's no place for a squirrel. How many cards is this? 4 cards. The Lovers, the Four of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Chariot in reverse. We see that King of Wands energy again. All 3 of these are upright except for the Chariot. The Chariot is in reverse. The bottom of the deck is the Two of Swords in reverse. Yeah, no. Oof, I like the summer here. Like if it gets above 90, to me, it's near unbearable. Like preferably, like the warmest I want to be is mid 70s. Anything beyond mid 70s is too much, and anything above 90 is way too much. And when we hit 100, I'm like, it's asking a lot for me to remain incarnated to be in a body, because I feel like bodies should not be subjected to heat that is that hot. And I'm like, yeah, no, 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 no. Hopefully, if I go to Texas, it'll be remote. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be in Canada, um, where it's cooler. Hopefully, it's still cool in Canada. So we got the Lovers. We got the Four of Cups. We got the King of Wands. And we got the Chariot in reverse. But the Two of Swords in reverse at the bottom of the deck. The Two of Swords in reverse with the Chariot in reverse is interesting. I don't even know if I'm gonna. Honestly, I'm kind of just like done. I'm kind of just done. So maybe I'll just read them from the book. I will read these from the book and then put them away. And then maybe sometime soon I'll do that last Magic the Gathering. The Lovers upright. Choices, love, and harmony. Free will is a great gift and free will is a great gift and a heavy burden. You face a choice that has long-term consequences. Here is how the wise make these decisions. Pick the option that clearly aligns with your most important values. This is not a time for cleverness or trying to outwit the gods to secure the most advantageous outcome. Take up only that which makes your heart sing. Interesting. And then the Four of Cups. Excuse me. Boredom, stagnation, lack of gratitude. Sometimes life feels so dull, but life never is. And if it seems so, you have grown lazy. Keeping your emotional well fresh requires effort. More importantly, it demands gratitude. You are stagnating, even though there is so much in your life to enchant and delight you. Open your eyes and your heart before you fall so deep into ennui that you can't get out. And then we have the King of Wands. There are the yards are up. Ooh, excuse me. The King of Wands upright is visionary, ambition, and leader. This represents someone who thinks big and loves bold ideas. They are ambitious for themselves and others. Their warm personality and confidence make them extraordinary leaders. They have the authority and power to raise others to their highest potential. And then we have the Chariot in reverse. This is unbridled ambition, lack of discipline, and aggression. The current course of action takes you far from your intended goal. Whether through misguided desires or undisciplined practices, you will lose your way. Success requires an adept hand that flows with the tides of reality. Push too aggressively against those currents and risk drowning. So now is not the time to be clever. Be realistic. Don't be lazy and stagnate, and follow your passions. Cool. I feel like that is definitely flip-flops. I'm not even a huge fan of flip-flops, and I'll tell you why. I don't like flip-flops. Because they break. I haven't had a pair of flip-flops that have lasted long. Because if I get like the thongs, the thing, they'll like rip out. And if I get the slides, then if it has a cushion, I'll just like wear into the cushion. But seagulls, oof. See, but a lot of places have seagulls. so I'm like, oof. Texas though, I just feel like it's so hot in Texas. They say everything's bigger in Texas, and I'm sure the bugs are gigantic. I'm like, oh, I don't know. If the world takes me to Texas, then my comfort will be seagulls and Eve. I'm kind of a Crocs guy, like a Crocs and socks and Crocs. That's me. I too had my time of being skeptical of the Croc, um, but I've come around. Excuse me. I saw a video that kind of explained why Crocs are so comfortable, and it was like Crocs are designed for wearing. Like the way the Croc is shaped is the way that feet are shaped, and I was like, wow, that's true. That is true. Crocs are shaped like feet, which makes sense because that's where we wear them. And it's not the ideal shape of a foot. It's not what a foot should be. It's what a foot is. Okay, so if we're counting flip-flops as Crocs, then yes, I do love a Croc. It did not take me long to love Crocs once I got my first pair. Also, Crocs were more expensive than I thought they would be. Like Crocs they cost the same as like actual shoes. And that's kind of wild. My first pair of Crocs was from Walmart. So they were not an officially licensed pair of Crocs. And I guess I was expecting a little more than Walmart, but not the price of actual Crocs. Not to say that they're necessarily outrageous, but I don't spend a lot of money on shoes or clothes. So to me, it was like, wow. But I mean, the pair still looks good. They last. So anyway, that was this. Yeah, I do too. That's the Walmart pair that I bought. The Walmart pair that I got have like a little lining on the inside. And so it's like, people are like, why are you wearing Crocs in the winter? I was like, because they keep my toes warm. And didn't they change your life? I mean, I guess you wouldn't necessarily need them for Texas winters, but. Or you might because it snows in Texas. Excuse me. It snows in Texas now. So I'll end this with an I Ching. Hey Google, roll a D100.
I can only roll dice with 3 to 20 sides.
3 to 20? You can't do 2D10s? You can't roll a D100? Can you roll a 64? That doesn't even exist. Hey Google. Hey Google. Roll a D64.
Here are some results.
No, you can't. Goodness. You should be able to roll a 2D10s. Hey Google. Roll 2D10s.
You rolled 7 and 1 for a total of 8.
It's fine. Hey Google, pick a number between 1 and 64, please.
Here's a random number. 22.
22. That shouldn't have been as difficult as it was. I really just am who I am, and I am how I am. And I try to be better, but like I said, there are some things that I just don't. There are certain things that I don't compromise on. Because, again, to me, it's not fair to expect more from other people than we're willing to do for other people. To expect consideration that we're not willing to give, to expect a kindness that we're not willing to give, or a compassion. I'm like, it's just weird. You know what I mean? It's just weird to me. So 22 is luminosity, beauty, and grace. A great fire illuminates the majestic mountain. You handle ordinary affairs with clarity, precision, and grace. Your public image now suffices for the small undertakings, but the large undertakings will exceed your beauty and grace. If you are content with small gains, then continue in present luminosity. Otherwise, abandon the comforts of the carriage and walk dauntlessly as a humble apprentice. Do you yearn for more than the comforts you possess? Of course, I yearn for more than the comforts that I possess. Not that, there's anything wrong, because the comforts are comforting. The comforts are very comfortable. But yes, I do yet still yearn for more. So I will again be but a humble apprentice. And maybe I will learn to be more flexible. If Google says tails, I'm supposed to be more flexible. If Google says heads, I'm fine. Hey, Google, flip a coin.
You got tails.
Ah! Fine. And if I seek greater luminosity, I will have to abandon the comforts of the carriage. So, and what's interesting is every now and then I'll ask, it's been a while. Sometimes I'll ask people that know me, that I know, like, if they could give me any advice, what it would be. Um, and my best friend, he was like, be more flexible. And I was like, no, I'm flexible enough in the ways that I need to be flexible. And I got boundaries like everybody got boundaries. Wrong answer, basically. And then I did end up becoming like more flexible. Um, so if it's something that I need to work on to get where I want to go, to be a better me, then I will work on it. And I guess one reason why I could say that or see that, and it's kind of like the I Ching said, like if I want more, if I wish for more, then I have to be more flexible. I can't be so rigid. I have to know and understand that justice is a lot bigger than Patrick. You know what I mean? And just because someone can be an absolute garbage person to other people doesn't mean that they're not a good person. Hey, Google, flip a coin.
It's heads.
No! Google is messing with me. It's actually opposite day. So, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it as something for me to be mindful of. And at the very least, I can work on my communication. Um, because, like I said, like it's not fair to hold people to a standard or to hold like anything to a standard and not communicate it. And just because I think that something is like shouldn't have to be communicated doesn't mean that that's the case. Because if I'm a certain type of way and I don't know if it upsets someone else, like I would want them to tell me if I care about them, so that like if it's something that I can change, I will. You know what I mean? Because again, at the end of the day, if it's something that I can work on, then I'll work on it. Like with that same friend, I had to work on like my own like lack mentality, which is interesting and weird. Um, it wasn't weird when we first met, but my circumstances in life have changed enough where I don't have to be that way anymore. I don't have to be that way to the extent that I was when we first met. Um, and it went from like understandable to kind of sort of like being a hindrance in terms of just like experiences. I'm the type of person that likes to experience things with people at the same time. And there is a regret that I have where I went to a zoo with my other best friend, and she was like, hey, like, do you want to go half on the pictures, like half and half? I was like, no. I was like, yeah, no. I don't want the pictures. They're fine. We don't need the pictures. We have the memories. And like at the time, again, like I felt justified because it was what it was. But after some time, I was like, I could have gone half. I could have did it. I didn't have to be so like, I don't know, like when my next paycheck is gonna come, so I can't do it. And not just that, just to like, so fine, I'll take it. Hey, I say that I'm open. I don't say that I necessarily like it. I'll roll my eyes and I'll do it. I might give a little attitude internally, but again, like I care about me and I care about the people that I care about. And if the people that I care about lie on the other side of my stubbornness and inflexibility, then because I care about them, even though I may or may not know them yet, I will be more flexible. See, this is another. Now I feel like that nervousness is back. Now the anticipation, what felt more like anticipation earlier today, is it's reading as a little bit of nervousness because I'm like, oof, be flexible. Flexible for what? Flexible for what? Like anything but Texas, please. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Flexible and open-minded. Now, I can be open-minded, even though I'm not necessarily always the most flexible. I can be open-minded. So now I feel like I need another card. I don't need another card because that's like the I Ching already confirmed it. If you are content with small gains, then continue in present luminosity. Otherwise, abandon the comforts of the carriage and walk dauntlessly as a humble apprentice. Do you yearn for more than the comforts you possess? And the answer is yes. And it's not from a space that is insatiable or that's never satisfied. Oh, so I guess stay tuned. Open-minded to what you're not. See, I can be. I am very open-minded to what I'm not going to do. I'm extremely open-minded to what I'm not going to do. Like, I see your point. I understand what you're saying. But what I'm not going to do is what you're talking about. Like, that is pinnacle Patrick. That is peak Patrick right there. Open-minded to what I'm not going to do. Open-minded and inflexible. That's me. I'm kidding. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for you. For you, I see it. For you, I get it. For me, it's a no. It would never be me, ever. But for you, yeah, I get it. I get where you're coming from. I see that. I see that for you. You look like the type of person. You give off that kind of vibe. I'm kidding, kind of. Yeah. But again, like, I feel like some of that may tend back towards the over intellectualizing though. And maybe like that's again like something that works against me sometimes. Honestly, I feel like it did. Um, you're giving do that. Exactly. I feel like there was definitely a point in my life where I would I would get so far into the what ifs, into the hypotheticals that I would talk myself out of stuff. And so there were opportunities that I would let pass me by without even fully like hearing them because I'd be like, oh, well, if I were to do this, then I'd have to do that and I'd have to do this other thing and I can't do this and I can't do that and that's not going to work and this isn't going to work. So I better like not even try. And like, part of life's journey for the past few years is at least try because you don't know unless you try. Like my life is already so drastically different because I've had my eyes operated on and because I'm a different person now than I was then. And so it's not fair to me or to the people who may potentially have the luxury of getting to like know me. You know what I mean? Like, who am I to deprive others of me? And when I think about it that way, my healed Chiron and Leo makes a very good point. You know what I mean? Like, I'm amazing. people should be able to like experience this. Whew. I guess whatever. Whatever. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. It was a good one today. Yeah. We'll see what life has in store. I know my word of the year. Oh, see, I told you. I told you. There are certain things that happen, and then my word starts ringing, and I'm like, that is my word of the year. That's my word of the year. What's gonna happen? I don't know. We'll see, but I'm open, and we're gonna roll with it. And I can't be my word of the year and be inflexible at the same time. If that gives you any clue or hint what my word of the year, I might say it at the end of the year. I might not, It may continue to be a mystery because ultimately, at the end of the day, like, it's not your word, so it doesn't matter. um, but yeah, I can't word my word of the year and be inflexible at the same time. Okay, all right. Well, I'll keep y'all updated as far as, I can, I guess. And we'll see what happens. And until next time, again, thanks for stopping by. This has been What's the Tea on Me? For me, by me, from me, to me, for me. I hope you all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path journey and when you find, I hope that when it is your turn, your chance to do whatever it is that you need to do, you can get it done. Yeah, and I will see y'all maybe tomorrow. Maybe not. I was so excited to read the second booster pack, but after the first two booster packs, like the third booster pack was gorgeous enough. I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe. I could do it right now. It's only 3 hours. Psych.